And I have to say, I haven't been excited for a vintage collection figure quite as much as I have for this one. I'm really looking forward to it. And
hello and welcome to A Long Time Ago with me, Adam, and Martin, of course. Today we're back, aren't we, Martin, to carry on with our Lego and our stickers, because it's been a little while. We've got a few things to talk about in the meantime as well.
I've been eager to get back onto the stickers because
Yeah,
you know me, once I've started something, I'm itching to get it finished, whether it means it's collecting or stickers. So yeah, looking forward to cracking on.
Yep. So we'll get into that shortly, but we're going to talk about what New York Comic Con releases, a little bit of Lego Star Wars, and the upcoming Skeleton Crew series again. I mean, we've spoken about it a little bit before. We spoke about the trailers, didn't we? So,
Yeah.
And anticipation for it, but we're going to talk about what we're planning to do with it, I think. So, without further ado, let's get up the Lego cam and the sticker cam.
Excellent. Let's do it.
So, as you can see, then Martin is jumping back into his Return of the Jedi sticker album. How far into it do you think you are? How complete is it now?
I mean, it's not anywhere near finished, but I've got a fair amount in there. I've started to notice a few things though as I flicked through it before we started recording. And some of the, obviously, you know, the production of the stickers, the colouring doesn't quite match other stickers. So I don't know if you can notice there, the black there isn't the same black as it is here.
Okay.
But you know,
it could be the fact that they're nearly 50. Yeah, nearly 50 years old. So yeah,
exactly.
40 years old.
40 years. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry. So yeah. But no, I'm looking forward to getting it complete because, as I say, the whole idea behind me doing this was something that I never got to do as a kid and always wanted to. So once it's complete, you know, it's going to be awesome. And then also just to say, any doubles that I have, I've been sent by a couple of people now. Lists of ones they need for their albums, so I'll be moving those on to help out other collectors nice. If they need them. So what are you doing today? Are you carrying on with your Lego from last time?
Yeah, I'm going to carry on with my Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi Starfighter. I think I've done about 1.5 bags. I'm probably about halfway through. So yeah, back onto this one. Still got a little bit to get on with. Hopefully get it finished, but depends how long we're willing to chat for, I think.
Yeah.
So let's crack on. I need to figure out where I am actually. Are you just doing these? Oh, 7 sticker packs, is it today?
No, I've got some more to the side here. They're just for aesthetic reasons, Adam.
Okay.
Although to be fair, I will end up having to use them at some point.
Yes, yeah, more than likely. Yeah, I'll be very surprised if you don't. All right, I'm over here. I'm gonna move my mic over to the side slightly. So we didn't actually get around to talking about it. It was a little while back now, but New York Comic Con had a few. Hasbro had a little announcement there, didn't they? Where they announced a few new vintage collection announcements. Said announcements a few times.
Yeah, they had I think it was 3 vintage collection announcements for upcoming figures, and then obviously we got quite a few. Well, I don't know if actually the Black Series. There was one Black Series, wasn't there, at New York Comic Con? But there seemed to be a few days before that. I think there was the whole Skeleton Crew
That's right.
announcement of all the kids and Jude Law's character. But yeah, obviously, you know, for me personally, I'm mostly interested in the vintage collection.
Sure.
So obviously, I think the first one they announced was with Sabine, with the thing that she rides. Howler. Yeah, well done. Yeah. I'm glad somebody's prepared for this.
Come on now.
The Howler. I mean, this is basically another blurg, isn't it? That comes with with another figure inside the pack. And I have to say, the figure looks fantastic. I'm not too bothered about the Howler, to be honest with you, but obviously I'm going to need to buy that in order to actually get the figure. And it does
Yeah.
look like the figure card back is one of the larger cards, like Cobb Vanth came on a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, right.
Sort of
Yeah.
they used to do those. I forget what they're called now. The special ones that used to come in the boxes.
The boxed, yeah.
Um, yeah, the box
Deluxe
ones.
version.
Deluxe. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, it's the deluxe figure. So, which is great because I'd rather it come on a card. But again, it's a bit of a pain because I had to find that somewhere that did a protective case for it. Thankfully, Deflector Case had
Yeah.
them. But yeah, so I really like this one. I think it's really nice figure. I think it's our second Sabine now, isn't it? So I'll be
Yeah.
picking this up purely because I'm a completionist. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
what were your
We
thoughts on
know
this
that.
one?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I'm not overly fussed on it. It's probably not one that I'm going to pick up. If I'm
Right?
being honest, it doesn't float my boat too
No,
much.
no.
And like you say, the Howler, yeah, take it or leave it, really.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think so.
not, I'm missing a piece. Not off to a
I
good
mean,
start here.
these big, whether it's a vehicle or a deluxe pack, it is getting more and more like there are more and more figures now that you can only get if you buy a vehicle or you buy a creature or something like that. And I have to say, I think we're both very eager, and I believe it's coming soon. Is the E-wing, which comes with that little droid.
Yeah, when's
Um,
that due?
well, I think I read yesterday that that's coming in December, so we should be getting that, in the near future before Christmas. I would say.
Yeah,
So that's going to be awesome. I cannot wait because the car back on that is absolutely
it's
incredible.
perfect. Yeah, that's going to be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
But what's the Ghost as well is going to be due out soon, isn't there? There's been a lot of talk about the Ghost.
yeah. There's still no, from what as of time of recording this, I've still not seen anything about a possible date or anything like that.
No.
So yeah, I'm eager to find out really because you know what's going to happen. I'm on holiday in
Oh,
November, so it will
yeah.
turn up while I'm not there. The postman will think, "Oh, I'll just leave it outside." Someone will nick
Oh,
it, or it will rain.
yeah. I mean, yeah, more than likely it will rain.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh my god! Out of 5 stickers in that pack, I got 3 doubles.
The doubles are coming thick and fast now.
Yeah, yeah.
I seem to be missing a piece. I can't find it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Is it an important piece?
I don't know at this point. I don't know. Is that something that happens with Lego? Do you think? Do you think
What do you
they're
mean?
always? Do you think that there's ever sets that go out that aren't 100% complete?
Well, I'll give you my experience because I used to collect Star Wars Lego, and
Mm.
you see what I used to have. I used to have
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
a lot of Star Wars Lego, and I have to say there was always more Lego in the pack than I needed.
yeah.
So
There
I've
usually
never
is.
ever, yeah, I've never ever like not had enough, or missing pieces, I should say. So
Mm.
yeah. See, you must have
So
dropped it. That's the only thing I can think.
this is on me then. Yeah,
Yeah,
this one's definitely
yeah.
on me.
Don't sully the
Uh,
good name of Lego.
yeah. Right. Let's see if I can get on without it for now. And
Yeah.
nope. It's the next bit that I need to do.
Oh dear.
Hmm.
Oh, was it? Well, thanks everyone for tuning in this
Yeah,
episode.
that was fun.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Well, I'll do a bit of talking while you have a look
You
round.
do a bit of
So
talking.
the
Yeah, let's get on to the next figure.
next figure that was announced was the Snow Trooper. So obviously, the Snow Trooper is one of the original 96. So we're finally getting it, and I have to say, I haven't been excited for a vintage collection figure quite as much as I have for this one. I'm really looking forward to it. And another thing I'll say is, I'm not one who normally buys multiples of figures. As you know, I usually buy just the one, and on occasion I've bought two, but I think I might buy multiples of this one because it's
Ooh,
probably one of my favorite original 96 card backs. It's
yeah.
really annoying. I used to own this on that card back on the Return the Jedi card. It was graded,
Oh
but it
wow.
was a toy Tony. So I got rid of it eventually. I don't know if do you know what a toy
So
Tony is?
no, I was going to say, let's go into that a little bit. 'Cause I'm
Well,
not
I'm not
100%
I'm
on
not
those.
totally au fait with it, but basically there was a guy, and I assume his name was Tony. Basically, managed to get a load of cards from, I think it was the Palatoy factory in the UK, that um, hadn't been used. Basically, they were just a pile of old Star Wars cards, card backs, and he also
Right.
got a massive amount of bubbles and that hadn't been stuck down yet. So he went out there and found really good quality figures, which at that time wouldn't have been very much to buy, and then he sealed them on the cards themselves with the bubbles.
Right.
So basically, it was a real figure, a real weapon, an absolutely genuine bubble, and an absolutely genuine card.
Yeah.
But what he did was actually just the only thing he did was actually glue it down. So it wasn't factory sealed, it was Toy Tony sealed. Now, when he did this, he did it with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of card backs, apparently, and he sent them
Oh,
all to be graded. And the grading companies didn't realize until they'd already processed,
till it was too late.
thousands of them. And
Yeah.
of course, then they couldn't go back and find out which ones it were. So they're all out there, and they're still out there now, and
Oh,
they've
right.
actually become quite collectible. People pay
Of
a lot of
course.
money for them because essentially they are the real thing. It's just that they've been glued down by him and not by a pressing machine, and you can
Yeah.
tell because they don't have the dimple marks around the bubble that you see on card backs. So they are quite easy to spot once you know. But yeah, so anyway,
Mm.
this was a toy Tony, and I bought it for about £100, I think, originally. Whenever I got it, and I loved it so much, but I wanted to buy some other stuff, so I sold it on. And I sold it for £350, and I was quite
Wow.
clear. I thought it was a toy Tony, but I still
Yeah.
sold it for £350. So as I say,
It's
people
pretty
are very
impressive.
willing to buy them because they are, essentially the real deal.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I do miss that a lot. I wish I'd kept it, to be quite honest with you. But
Yeah.
getting this on a vintage collection card, I'm going to probably send one off to get graded because it's my favorite card back from the
Yeah.
original '96. I'll have one, in a plastic case like I have behind me, for the room, and then
Yeah.
I might get a couple to open up because I also do like the figures.
Mm.
And I don't know why I've got this slight feeling that once this Tatooine season's finished with Hasbro for after a year or so, Hoth might become a thing
The jump
because
onto Hoth. Yeah.
yeah, because they've done Endor now, haven't they? And now they're doing Tatooine. We had a lot of Endor stuff last year,
Mm.
um, and obviously they're doing Tatooine now. So I think it's a good bet that Hoth would be the next one
Yeah.
for them to concentrate on. So it'd be probably good to get a couple of those while they're available and at fairly, reasonable prices for sticking in the cupboard. And then if they bring out a HasLab or something in the future, I'll have a couple of figures that I can add to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. It is. I was going to say it is probably one of my favourites as well. The card back, it's
Yeah,
brilliant, and
it's superb.
it's actually one of the few original figures that I have in my collection, complete as well.
Oh, nice,
A
nice.
lot of people probably don't know that, but
Oh,
I have the Saga collection version of it as well, which is
that's a
another
beaut.
great
I've got
one.
that down. Yeah, I've got that down here.
You've got that.
It's I didn't keep them all of the Saga collection. I got rid of some of them, but that one wasn't going anywhere.
No,
Yeah, I remember you bought that from. Was it Andy's Totten Toy Fair? You picked that up from?
I picked the original one. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
the original one off from there.
Yeah.
Um, and I found the other one, the Saga collection one, I found on eBay for a really good price, I think. So it was going for quite a lot back when I picked it up. It was going for quite a lot.
Yeah.
I
Some of
managed
those
to get
do go
it.
for quite a lot of money.
Yeah, I managed to get it at a good price. So I was pretty chuffed with that. Right, I opened bag 3 just to let everyone know. I've opened bag 3, and there was the piece in there that I need. So
Oh,
a little bit
fantastic.
later down the line, I'm going to be needing that piece again, more than likely. But for now, we can move on.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And
Um,
yes, so the last figure of the vintage collection that was
okay.
announced at San Diego Comic Con was Dr. Everzan. And I think
Yes.
this was VC 53, 52. Do forgive me if I got that wrong. And this was an interesting one because it essentially looks like the same figure. At least I think that's what people are saying. It's the same figure as they originally released in uh, TVC 1.0.
Right.
Now,
What the
the
same
different
the same
sculpt.
sculpt? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that right?
Now, TVC 1.0 used a different card back to this one. This one's got a completely different image on the card back,
Right.
which is really confusing because I questioned why the latest Star Wars carded Darth Vader came out as a different VC number. And I actually asked Boss Bounty, and he said, "Well, it's because it's a different figure. It gets a different VC number." But
Right.
as he said as well, it gets very confusing because sometimes they don't change the VC number when the figure changes, and then sometimes they change the image on the card and they do change the VC number, but
Yeah.
sometimes they don't. So it gets very confusing. But the great thing
Yep.
about this one is I actually prefer the new card back image that they're releasing for this one. It's kind of a side-on view when he's at the bar. I really really like this one, and
Mm.
also I'll definitely be picking this one up because obviously it's a variant of that character. So
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really chuffed about this one. I think this one's going to be really good.
Yeah. What? I suppose you won't know off the top of your head. What image did they use on the first variant, the first issue? Have you
The
got it?
first
Got it
issue,
to hand?
I can see it from behind. He's just up there on the second shelf down. It's basically just him, sort of a kind of a front-on view of him. It's quite a
Right.
grainy image. I'll flash it up on the screen now for people who don't know, so they can compare. But this one's much sharper image, and
Mm.
it's a full body, nearly a full body image of him. Whereas the one I've got is kind of just like a chest high image.
Right.
So yeah, all in all, I was happy with all three of those. I can't wait to get my hands on them, and
Yeah.
they do seem to be coming out thick and fast at the moment, don't they?
They do. They seem to be announcing them fairly regularly now, don't they?
Yeah. So yeah, look. So yeah, they were all the TVC announcements at San Diego Comic Con. There was a kind of a controversial Black Series announcement.
Hmm.
I don't know if you heard about this one.
This Clone Commander Cody.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Um,
So
it
this is the one where they've gone back and used the old style. What was it? Revenge of the Sith
Sith.
card,
Yeah, yeah. Basically,
but
it's a
obviously in a
20th.
6-inch figure.
That's right. Yeah, it's a 20th anniversary card back in the Black Series, and this happened with the Phantom Menace last year, and I think it's happened before with other um, figures that have been released during anniversaries. The Black Series always gets an anniversary line, it seems, um,
Yeah.
but the Vintage Collection. I mean, obviously we don't know yet, but it's May next year, the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. So I'm sure we probably would have had some kind of announcement by now if they were going to do a run of figures in the Vintage Collection for the anniversary. But
What
it's annoying because
anniversary is it? Sorry, 20th.
Revenge of the Sith 20th, yeah,
20th anniversary. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and it gets quite annoying because I love Revenge of the Sith. It's up there in my favorite Star Wars films, and I do feel that sometimes the Vintage Collection gets second place when it comes to
Yeah.
these anniversary editions. And I would have loved just a wave of 6 or 4 figures celebrating Revenge of the Sith, like I would have done last year for the 25th anniversary or this year for
Yeah.
the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Um,
It
but
seems like they've missed a trick with that in a way, doesn't it? Do you think?
mm,
Like by
yeah,
not jumping on that
yeah,
for vintage collection. owners, because that's obviously taken up a big share of the market. You'd think. I don't know how popular Black Series is really in the grand scheme of things.
I couldn't agree more. I think they've really missed a trick, and I think they're underestimating the interest that there would be in the release of these in a vintage collection line. I genuinely do. I
Mm.
think possibly what's gone on here is they reckon that TVC 1.0. It's I don't know this for sure, but it's kind of rumored that originally it was killed, that line 1.0, because they released a wave of Phantom Menace cards for the 3D Phantom Menace release, and those card backs basically just didn't sell, and it was an absolute disaster for Hasbro. So from what I understand, that's why 1.0 went away and we didn't get
Yeah,
anything in
right.
the vintage collection for like 8 years. So I
Yeah.
think they're a bit afraid of the prequels, but I think if there's anything that the last 5 years has taught us, there's such a rabid interest in the prequels now. Everything Disney produces has some link to or takes place during the prequel era nowadays.
Yeah.
There's not really much except for the Mandalorian, and even Ahsoka. It references the prequel era all the time. So I think people are ready to sort of get those waves of prequel cards. So I would love Hasbro in the future to definitely bring out some more waves with more prequel characters in, because we've had the thing about the prequels is there's so many more characters in the prequels than there are in
Mm.
the original trilogy, and
Yeah.
they haven't even scratched the surface with the amount of characters. I mean, when we did our prequel 96 series, we picked out 96 characters from those movies, and I'd say at least 50% of them had never even been made yet. So
Yeah. There was
I,
a fair
I, I
few
ge-
in there.
there was, yeah. So I think we're ready for, come on Hasbro, we're ready for for a prequel release of action figures.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't say no. I think that's quite good.
No.
Quite a good plan. Um, what was I going to say? So those 3D figures, is that the one that was on a different card back? Is that what you're talking about? The ones that came with the 3D glasses?
No. That
That's
was
a
a
different line. But
different line. Yeah, that was the
yeah,
Darth Maul line. No, the 3D glasses ones were separate. These basically, George Lucas, there was the 3D craze about 2009 when
yeah,
Avatar came out,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then everybody started to produce all old films and new films in 3D.
yeah,
And well, George Lucas produced the prequels in 3D, and there's rumors that he even did it for the original trilogy. And they released the Phantom Menace 3D at cinemas. I don't think the box office did particularly well, but the
yeah,
figures that they released sort of at the same time, they didn't say 3D on them or anything, but they just died a death because I think people were still not au fait with the prequels, if you like.
yeah.
Um, and
It really it took the sequels to come out for the prequels to get a bit more love, didn't it? I think we were speaking
yeah,
about that the other day.
possibly.
Was
I
I
mean,
talking to you?
I wouldn't say that was like the major factor. I think people are genuinely
Certainly
seeing.
helped.
Well, I mean, well, yeah, it certainly helps, but for me, they were always great. But yeah, I mean, so basically, yeah, that killed the line, and then obviously it killed the releases of the 3D series, is because Disney bought Star Wars or Lucasfilm from
Mm,
George, and then they literally axed the 3D releases. And
right.
when so the only people who got to see Attack of the Clones in 3D were the people who went to Celebration Germany, because they did a special showing of it at Celebration
Ah,
Germany. So I'm one of the
yeah.
rare people out there who's actually seen
Nice.
Attack of the Clones in 3D, and I have to say it was it was absolutely brilliant. George Lucas, he took 3D and just made it better, like he did with everything. Because a lot of people were lazy with the 3D era. They literally just
Yeah.
made it as oh, this object's coming at you 3D. Whereas in Avatar and in the prequel 3Ds I saw, you actually absolutely felt the depth in the screen. So it
Mm,
didn't just look like something pointing out at you all of a sudden. It looked like you were actually in a 3D environment, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Um, and I would love more than anything to watch Revenge of the Sith in 3D, because I mean that film's got so much, scope to it. So many great battles, space battles, lightsaber battles,
Yeah.
environments, Coruscant. I mean, that speeder chase in 3D was absolutely out of this world from Episode 2. So I can only imagine what Episode 3 would be like. So
Yeah.
I'd love Disney to one day, even if they just released them on Blu-ray. I
I
would
was going to say they never got released either. Then
no, not even the Phantom Menace got released in 3D. I mean, to be fair, there's not many people out there with 3D TVs anymore,
no.
which is probably one of the reasons. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame, because I think maybe there'll be another 3D craze in a 10 years' time or something, and Lucasfilm or Disney will just be sat on those. They're already made by the sounds of it, so they've just literally just got to
Yeah.
whack them out. It won't cost them any money. So fingers crossed one day.
Maybe. You never know.
No. Oh, we have our superior leader, or our imperious leader is now complete. Mr. Our final guest, or who was our final guest, I should say, on For the Love of Star Wars. If you haven't watched that yet, go back and watch that, because it was probably one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. It was Bob and Salacia. I mean, Bob we didn't talk, did we, Freddie, for an hour? Bob was just
he brought the fire, didn't he?
He did. It was absolutely incredible. I could have sat for another hour and just listened to him talking about that episode, because it made me want to finish and literally go in the other room and start watching that episode all over again. The enthusiasm and the love for that episode and Star Wars in general just oozed through that chat. I really, really enjoyed that. So that was good.
Which, speaking of, it will be back for a second series. We will come back and do some more of those, because, well, they were just so much fun, weren't they? Hearing all the positivity of everyone talking about their favourite pieces of Star Wars media, it was just great fun.
It was.
So we'll come back with another series.
It was probably one of my most favourite things we've done on the channel. As you say, just chatting with like-minded people about Star Wars and just good stuff about Star Wars. It was a joy. I was editing those videos, and when I'd go back and edit them, it was a joy rewatching them over and over again when I was doing the editing, and I was there at the time of recording. I absolutely loved it. It was a great time. So we're definitely coming back next year with another 12 episodes for the love of Star Wars.
Cool.
And if anybody at all is interested in being a guest and picking an episode of their favourite Star Wars media,
something that we haven't spoken about in series 1 already.
Yeah, absolutely. Preferably. Get in touch, and we'll put you on the list, because we want to get as many people involved as possible.
Yeah. Up next then. Well, this will be an interesting one, because we haven't really delved into this chat too much. You've maybe mentioned it to me once or twice, but seeing as I'm doing the Star Wars Lego, and recently you'll probably remember that I picked up the Dark Falcon, and you didn't know anything about it.
No.
I decided to give the Rebuild the Galaxy Lego series a watch.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of fun, isn't it? It's you don't take it seriously, but it's kind of fun. I mean, you haven't watched it, have you?
No, I have to say, I don't want to upset anybody by saying this, but I really don't like the Lego Star Wars. I like the games. Really enjoy playing the games, especially the original one. But the actual Lego, I don't know. Star Wars is serious to me. It's quite a serious subject to me, and I will take in as much Star Wars as I possibly can. But every time I've tried to watch the Lego stuff, I can't get over the buffoonery. I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
I mean, it is silly. It is silly. I won't deny it. It is silly. But it was kind of, it's kind of a bit of fun if you didn't mind watching that, and it had some funny moments in it. So the Rebuild the Galaxy stuff is it's got the kid from, is it Justin in Stranger Things?
Ooh, I haven't seen.
Is he
Possibly, I'm
the?
not.
Do you remember? Have you seen it? Have you seen
Yeah, I've seen
Stranger
all of
Things?
Stranger Things, but I'm so bad with names, as you know, that you could be talking about
Yeah,
any of the characters, and I wouldn't know who Justin
the
was.
kid with the two front teeth missing.
Oh yes, yeah, oh yeah, yes, yeah, the best
Yeah,
character, yeah, the never-ending story kid.
he's the main character. He's just the main voice, the voice of the main character, I should say, in it. Um, and it's kind of, it's one of those where you were sitting there, or I was sitting there and thinking, I know that voice, I recognise that voice. So I had to look it up. I had to go on IMDb, and yeah, I found out it was him, which was kind of funny. And he basically he takes the cornerstone, which is like the key to their universe, or their galaxy, I should say, and it messes everything up and turns everything inside out. So instead of X wings, you've got TIE wings, and instead of TIE fighters, you've got X fighters, and it's all a bit backwards. And I mean, spoiler for anyone that's planning on watching it, but Princess Leia's with Greedo instead of Han, which is kind of funny. And it has its moments. I know you're not going to enjoy it because it's not your cup of tea, which is fine. But yeah, it was an interesting watch. Let's put it that way. Four episodes on Disney Plus if anyone's interested. But I was going to ask you if you've actually watched. Did you bother watching any of them or not?
Yeah, when they originally the first ever Lego Star Wars came out, I used to religiously watch them because that was back in a day when there wasn't a huge amount of Star Wars to watch.
Yeah.
You know, uh, I have to say they weren't bad, but they've got progressively sillier. And
Mm,
if I want to watch something funny Star Wars, I'll probably tend to go to Family Guy.
yeah.
To be honest with you, or something like that, because that's
Yeah.
more my kind of humor.
Yeah.
Whereas
I
I
get
suppose
that.
Lego Star Wars, well, it is,
Made for
like,
kids.
yeah. But while what you just described did make me chuckle a little bit, I think the inane nature of it would probably get to me after a while. So I
Mm.
might get around to watching it at some point, but it's not it's not on my high up on my list of things
No.
to get around to watching.
No, sure. That's understandable. Oh, I feel like I'm going to break this.
But you enjoyed it,
I didn't mind it. It was a bit fun, you know.
yeah? Is it something you can watch with the kids?
Yeah, I expect so. When they're of
Yeah,
a reasonable age, it's
yeah,
probably something that can be watched. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, not a bad idea. I just need to check the box.
Have you lost another piece?
No, I just need to see if I want to see if this is actually like, I don't know if you can see that there's a bit of a gap in
Oh
between the
yes.
wing, and I'm
Oh yeah.
wondering if that's supposed to be there to that sort of extent.
I would say no, but what do I know?
Okay.
Please put in the comments whether you think Adam built it correctly.
I can tell you all now. I haven't. I
Oh
haven't.
dear.
It's okay. It should be a simple fix.
It's all good.
It's all about getting my fingers in there to be able to, because I don't have any nails, you see. So getting these pieces off isn't easy. There we go. Right, that one goes there.
I do have to say, some of these stickers don't have the same stickiness they probably did in 1983.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's why I've got that on the wrong side. You come around here, and you go around there, and then I should be okay.
Oh dear. I look at the amount of doubles I've had so far.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Leave a little comment down below if you need any of those doubles that Martin's just
Well,
shown off.
before we finish, I'll turn them all upside down in order, and then Scott, who's the main recipient of these at the moment, if you need any of those, send me a message, mate, and I'll post them off to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually running out of Return of the Jedi stickers now, and I can't seem to find any at a reasonable price anywhere to buy on eBay, because I did actually buy most of these from eBay, and I got to know a chap, and he sold me an
right.
absolute load of them for a really good price, but he's not got any left, so I've resorted to checking other places out, and it's ridiculous how much people are charging for these. The cheapest I can find is £5 for one packet of stickers.
Ooh, that is
Which
mad.
that I want to finish this album, but I don't want to go bankrupt at the same time. So yeah, if anybody knows of anybody who's got any stickers for sale, please let me know. But I do have a backup plan,
Or
because I bought
swaps.
that Transformer sticker
That's
album
true. That is
with
true.
a
Yeah.
pack of 100 stickers, or 100 packs of stickers. So I'll move on to that for the next episode if I don't manage to get any more.
Yeah.
But yeah, my I've set a silly rule for myself for this: is I have to open the stickers, because I could buy the individual ones that I want on eBay, because
Yeah.
people have
Okay.
them all and you can buy them in. But to me, that's cheating. I want to do it the old-fashioned way, where you have the packs of stickers, rip them open.
People
And
would have still done swapsies in the olden days, Martin. Surely.
possibly, but I don't know anybody else who's doing this at the moment. So again, if you're doing this at the moment, you want to do swapsies, again, let me know.
Get in
But
touch.
yeah, get in touch. Yeah, because I mean, I know I've had a lot of doubles today, but I'm doing quite well. I mean,
Yeah.
managed to fill this up quite well so far.
A little bit. Just a quick one there. This is my final figure for the thing.
Wow.
R4P17. Got an
One of your
astromech.
fave.
Yeah. And I actually think I think you're supposed to take the head off and put it on the wing. When
Yeah,
that's one of your options, isn't it?
That's one of the jokes from the movie, is the fact that if you actually watch those starfighters flying around, underneath where R2's head is, there's not enough room for his body.
Yeah.
Because they didn't design it well enough in the design process. So that's kind of a little bit of an in joke, I should imagine, in the Lego.
Nice. Right. Well, I was going to say, I thought the piece that I used earlier from pack 3, I figured I'd turns out I've already put it on the plane, on the Starfighter.
Oh.
I've just found it. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
I must have jumped to that part a bit too early. So apologies to the good people of Lego for accusing them of potentially giving me 99%.
That's it. Not going to get sponsored by them now, are we?
But now I'm looking for the next piece that I can't see. But I haven't opened this little packet of trinkets. I don't know what's in here. So there's still another one to go. You sort of made me think of a different point a second ago. You were talking about the price of things, like the price of those stickers. How much would they have cost back in the day? Does it say?
25 pence, I think, or 20p, something like that. They would have been.
That's mad.
Because I remember, on a very rare occasion, Mum would buy me some stickers. I'd get £1 pocket money, and I'd spend the whole £1 on 4 packets of stickers or 5 packets of stickers. So it must have been 20 or 25p. Something's telling me 25, but I might be wrong. But I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? And now you can't buy them for less than £5. It's bonkers. Yeah, and but that's
that's just how it is, though, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah.
Now, you've how long have you been collecting, like, vintage collection now?
Well, I mean, without going through the same story that people have heard millions of times, I did collect the 1.0 originally, and I completed it all. I even had the Mouse Droid and Salacious Crumb from the SDCC pack. But
of course,
when they announced it was finishing, about a year or so later, the Black Series had obviously come out, and I thought, well, I do enjoy collecting, and I enjoy the hunt, and I was missing it out because there was no more vintage collection. So I started to collect the Black Series,
Mm.
so I sold all my 1.0 vintage collection, and then of course years later they re-released the vintage collection, and obviously I loved that
Yeah.
line so much that I sold all my Black Series in order to fund me to be able to go back and buy all of the vintage collection again, and then carry on with the vintage collection 2.0. So
Crazy.
yeah, I know I'm a
Absolute mad.
mentalist. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
how has the price of that sort of varied over the years? Because obviously a lot of the
oh,
first edition, first issue stuff can be quite pricey now to get hold of.
well,
It's obviously not always been the case. Like,
no. Well, the first time I ever came across the vintage collection was the Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight figure card back.
yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah, the one where he's on the platform and he's been taken to Darth Vader. Again, I can't remember the VC number off the top of my head. And I saw it
yeah,
at Disney World, and I saw it, and I didn't know they'd existed. And I turned to Steph and I said, "Oh my god, those are the figures with the design that I used to have when I was a kid."
yeah,
And she said, and this is me laying the blame at her. She said to me, "Oh, well, you should get it then if it reminds you of your childhood." And I warned her. I said, "You do realize if I buy this, I will have to get all of them, and this will be the start of something." Because at that point, I had all the boxes of Star Wars stuff I had in the garage, but I kind of sort of was just picking bits and pieces up. I wasn't like in full collector mode. As soon as
mm,
I picked that Luke Skywalker up, I was in. I was absolutely in, and I
yeah,
haven't been out since. And that would have been 2011, I would say. I picked that up. So yeah, it's all Steph's fault, basically, is what I'm trying to
yeah,
say.
yeah. That's fair.
There's no one else really to blame, but the pricing back there, 12.99, I think it was for a vintage collection
Okay.
figure, and because I was buying
So
them all, um, at retail because they were coming out as I was buying them, they were
yeah,
relatively cheaply, and even the Mouse Droid and the Salacious Crumb mini card that I bought, that was
mm,
really cheap. I think it was about 50 quid each when I bought them.
yeah.
And we saw
But
one at Echo Base, didn't we? For what was it?
well, it was
Thousand?
graded. It was a
Mm,
thousand,
yeah,
wasn't it? Yeah.
£1,000. I mean,
You're not going near that
boy,
now, but
boy, do I regret selling that. Um, so yeah.
do you wish you'd sort of got a few more things graded as well, or not so much?
Um, I love graded, as you're aware. I have quite a few
Yeah,
pieces that are graded now, but I've never to this day sent anything off to be graded. I've always bought it graded,
yeah,
and I'm just a bit afraid. Like, I'd love to get my I've said this before. I'd love to get my Canadian Yoda variant graded because it's in mint condition pretty much, and it would get a really high grade. But
yeah,
I just can't envision me putting that in the post and sending it off.
yeah. I know
And
what you mean.
I mean, Keith Guppy told me that he doesn't post them; he actually drives them to drop them
Oh,
off.
right. Yeah,
But that's quite a big thing to do. I don't know how close they are, but I can't imagine they're going to be anywhere near me. So again, the laziness in me is like, for getting it graded, can't be bothered to drive 3 hours or whatever it might be to drop it off.
yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of things in my collection that I would love to get graded. So maybe one day, if I have enough stuff, I
yeah,
would probably think about driving it up, to make it worthwhile, and take it all there to actually hand over, definitely. But yeah, I think it's definitely something I'd like to do in the future. You know,
mm,
because it does increase the value of these things, and it's not that I want to sell it or anything, but you know, one day all of us as collectors, I think, it's nice to say we're going to keep it until the day we die, but that's probably not going to be the case, is it?
Well,
And
you can't take it with you, and you want to leave people with something, to.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I
For
don't want
example,
to
if
say
you've got
make money off of me, but
no, Well,
But
well, I don't have kids,
essentially, it
but
is,
if
isn't
I
it?
did have kids, I would obviously they would be left whatever I had, in theory. And
Mm,
who's to say that my kids like Star Wars or have any interest whatsoever in collecting? And in the
yeah,
world we live in today, where it's difficult to buy a house or pay the car insurance on your car, simple things in life that 20, 30 years ago, were relatively simple. And I mean, relatively simple compared to now, you know,
yeah,
you wouldn't expect them to keep it if they weren't interested in it. You would expect them to probably sell it so that they could get something in their life that they did need. So, that's just the way of the world. So you can't think like that. So, you know, I f- obviously I don't want to think about it. Hopefully it's years and years and years away. But if ever I got to a ripe old age and, I wanted to sell my collection, I probably would sell it if I could to another collector or someone that I know
mm,
would appreciate it.
yeah.
But you can't plan these things, can you? So,
You just don't know, do
um,
you? You just
no, you
don't know.
don't. No. We got a
No,
bit we got a bit deep there, didn't we?
it did get a bit deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should call it there on on that note. Should we? How are you getting
Yeah,
on?
I think so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's, I've only got 4 packets left, so we better save those for the
okay.
next episode.
I've only got a wing to make now, I think.
Yeah.
So,
So did you actually
and
do
then
anything in that 35 minutes?
I managed. Yeah, like I
Oh,
say, I found the piece that I was missing, so I made the wing.
oh,
You can
fantastic.
see there's some that is now in place, and there's some
Yeah.
other stuff on the bottom and a gun on the side. So we're
Nice,
getting
nice.
there. We're getting
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I did think I'd have it done, to be honest, but
Oh,
not
before we
not
go,
just
I
yet.
did say I'd do this.
Oh
Move
yeah,
that
of course.
aside. So if anybody needs any of these, I'm more than happy to move them on or pass them on to you. Just let me know. Um,
How many
so
how
yeah,
many stickers come in a pack? Is it?
it's 5 stickers in a pack.
Okay, so
Um,
five, £1 each then. If anyone needs.
oh dear. No, so just let me know, and yeah, then you're more than welcome to 'em. Um, yeah, I think that's
Excellent.
done.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you later.